Hey everybody, my name's Johnny. I'm over here at Perkins Motors here in Colorado Springs, and I just wanted to do a quick review here. My first time driving the brand new 2026 Jeep Cherokee. Jeep has finally brought this back. They haven't had one for the last few years, so I'm excited to give it a shot. So I have actually owned a 2020 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk, and I was a huge fan of that. But I wasn't a huge fan of how much of a gas guzzler it was with the 3.6. So I'm very excited to try out this new hybrid motor that they have in here. And I love how they didn't go plug-in hybrid. We did that for a while because of all of the rebates and incentives. And now we don't have to worry about any of that. And it saves a ton on the price of the vehicle, putting the MSRP of this in the mid to low 40s. And of course, after discounts, that's getting this into a very affordable lease or finance range. But let's take a walk around and check this thing out. So this specific 2026 Jeep Cherokee is the Overland package. So it's going to have a couple more bells and whistles, and I'll try to touch on that as best as possible. But as you can see on the front here, you've got LED headlights, you've got LED fog lights down there, and you have the 7-slot grille by Jeep. You'll notice right in the center of the grille here, you've got your front camera, and it looks like that comes with a sprayer on it as well. And that's going to be combined with your side cameras and your backup camera for that 360 view, giving you that bird's eye view of the Cherokee, which is really nice. If we come around here, it is mounted from the factory on Pirelli all-season tires, and it looks like these are mounted on 20-inch rims, which is just a really nice look for this. You've got a blacked-out Cherokee logo on the side. I love how they went more to the boxy style. They were getting kind of rounded on the edges for like the 2018s through 2020s, and I really like how they switched things up and brought back the original Cherokee feel. You've got really unique door handles here. It looks like you just reach underneath and it pops open just like this, and then there's a little button right here to lock the vehicle. From the factory, you've got rear tinted windows, you've got roof rails across the top, and this one does have a sunroof. On the back side here, I love how boxy this is while also maintaining a new modern feel. It looks like you've got a nice exhaust pipe located down under here. You've got parking sensors along the rear, your 4x4 badging, and your Overland badging here on the rear, which is really cool. We'll go ahead and pop this open. It does have a powered tailgate, which is one thing I did not have in my 2020, which I really enjoy having now. Lots of space back here. You'll notice that underneath here, you've got your full-size spare tire with your tire changing kit. Looks like you have a DC plug back here. Your seats do fold down flat, and then you've also got your button here to close the tailgate. And I love how there's a delay with that. If I press it and walk back, it gives me a couple seconds and 3 beeps before it closes. Coming around the driver's side here, you have this large gas cap area here, and it does have a button to activate and open from the inside of the vehicle, which is an interesting choice. Most of our vehicles are now push to open. This one does still lock and has a button on the inside, which is an interesting choice by Jeep, and we'll see how that feels. But in the back seat here, you've got a really nice leather interior. As you can see, you've got a fold down cup holder in the center there. And in this Overland package, you have heated rear seats with controls right here, along with having 2 Type Cs and a 115 alternating current plug-in, so just a regular wall plug. This one here does have your Alpine speaker system, so you've got branded speakers on the door, which look pretty cool. And then the interior rear door handles are just a little button right here. So you just press the button and it releases the door. But you also have a lock and unlock button here, which is pretty nice. In the driver's seat here, this is my first time really taking a look at this. Looks like you've got seat memory on the door, window controls, all pretty standard. It's got the same door handle situation as the back seats. Really beautiful leather on this. It's kind of got a cool shape to the perforations here, which is pretty cool. Gives us some texture. Looks really high end. You've got nice powered seat controls here. Looks like custom fit Cherokee floor mats. You've got a really cool looking steering wheel that goes with that boxy style. So it's a flat bottom and a flat top. It's almost an octagon, I think. That's pretty cool. On the left side, you've got looks like audio controls and infotainment controls. And then on the right side, you've got your adaptive cruise control settings. You've got some buttons down here on the side. You've got your parking brake. You've got a tailgate release right here. And then you also have your light controls and your gas cap right here. So quick correction, that's actually not the tailgate release. That is the hood release, which is an interesting choice to make it a button. And your tailgate release is actually located up here above your rear view mirror right here, which is interesting. But I went ahead and popped the hood, and let's take a look underneath. Another interesting choice by Jeep is to not have a actual release underneath. There's no handle or release to open it. You just press the button and then it opens up, which is pretty nice. It is self-supporting, which is an upgrade from the previous Cherokee models. I do like that. And then this is going to be the new 1.6 liter inline four-cylinder turbo hybrid motor. It's got 210 horsepower and 230 pounds of torque, which is really nice here in Colorado with the higher altitude. I like having more torque than power, as that's going to give us better performance at the higher altitude with the thinner air, which we experience here in the mountains. But it looks pretty compact. Everything in here looks pretty easy to access. It looks like you've got a hybrid system set up with a big battery over here. You've got all your fluids on one side here, except for your brake fluid. And then you have your oil and a dipstick down here, which is nice. Some of the Stellantis products, like the new Hurricane motor, don't even have an oil dipstick. So I'm really glad they kept that the same with the Jeeps here. Okay, so now I'm sitting in the driver's seat here, and this is the very first time I've actually sat in the driver's seat of this vehicle. We just received the Cherokees just a little bit ago, but from the setup here, the steering wheel is at a very comfortable distance, and I like how it's shaped. It gives really good visibility to the digital instrument cluster there. Looks like we have a large Uconnect 5 screen here, and then I do believe that this is a digital rearview mirror because it's got the little toggle on the bottom. So we'll try that out. But I wanted to go ahead and start this up on camera here. This is my first time doing that. Very nice. Started right up with no issues. I would sure hope so. And then it shows the motor turning on right there. So I guess it's got that hybrid situation where it turns on first and then turns the motor on to charge the battery, which is pretty cool. This is your digital rearview mirror right here, which is really nice. It gives you a much better view than just flicking that off and then having the view directly out the back. There is a camera that's located in the third brake light above the tailgate, and that's what gives you this. Normally I see them on like the big trucks and stuff, which is nice. So it's kind of nice that it's on a much more compact vehicle. Now inside, we've got a really interesting cluster here, and it looks like I can scroll through different trip meters here and different driver information, audio, messages, settings. It's even got our off-road pages here, which is really cool with the Jeeps that show you your pitch and roll. It's got your tire pressures here and your driver info, which is pretty nice. It looks like it also posts your speed limit, so I imagine that it has the speed limit reading situation here. Sorry, my camera wasn't wanting to focus. But yeah, really nice setup on the screens here as well. Let's turn the brightness down a little so we can see this on camera. But on the screen, Uconnect 5, this looks the same as it does in the new Wranglers and the Grand Cherokees. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But on the left side of the screen here, I like how they have the haptic buttons for the seat heater, seat cooler, the heated steering wheel, your mute button, and then you have your physical button and knob for the volume in the vehicle. And then on this side, you have your seat coolers and seat heaters for the passenger, and then your screen off button and your tune button. I love how they reconsolidated to having the actual buttons and setup down here for the comfort. So for your air conditioning, your heater, defroster, all of that is located here, which is really cool. But let's take a look at some of the buttons they've got here. It looks like you've got a lane management system. You've got your traction control. It looks like there's a low gear button instead of having a low option. So that probably keeps us in low gear for low hills. You've got a park assist button and parking sensors to turn those off. Two Type-C plugins right here. It looks like some empty storage space here and a nice little tray to put your phone and keys. And then they've got your start button down here, which is really cool. I've only ever seen these in the Wagoneers, which were the all-electrics, and I think that's pretty cool that they use that button. It looks really nice. On this same little column here, you've got your shifter, which has this cool little crystal ball feel, which is nice. And then you do have your different driving modes between sand, snow, and sport, of course, with an auto mode. Looks like it has your automatic brake hold here. It has your hill descent control, two cup holders with the grips, and then a little slot right here. And then it looks like you do have a wireless phone charger mount located in the center console here, which opens up and you've got quite a bit of storage space underneath. And it looks like a little DC outlet down there. So this is just cram-packed of with features, which I think is really cool that they were able to fit all this in here. Now up here, we do have the tailgate release here. It looks like you also have your door lights. You can turn all the lights on. You've got an assist and an SOS button. And then, of course, we have our large panoramic sunroof, which right now is only open to the midpoint. But if I go ahead and hit open, that'll slide all the way, which is really nice. Looks like you have the controls for the glass and for the tilt, along with the cover right here. And then I love how they kept a sunglass holder in here. You would be surprised how hard this is to find in modern vehicles. A lot of vehicles have taken that out. You do have garage door openers here supported by HomeLink, and then it looks like you do have lights here on your mirror for both the driver and the passenger, which is really nice. All right, so now that we're here in the driver's seat and ready to roll, I've got it started up. We were familiar with all of the little bells and whistles that are in here. We're now going to take this for a spin. This is my first time actually driving this off the lot here to see how it handles. So let's see how this goes. So I've got a speed bump here. Handled that pretty nice. Going a little faster over this one. That's one thing, it's really quiet in here. Acceleration is really nice in this. This definitely beats the 3.6. I really like how this steering wheel feels. This is a nice steering wheel. It's very sporty while also being kind of like square and rugged. It's an interesting feel. Almost feels like yokes kind of for like an airplane. Going up a little hill here, and it's very responsive. Didn't feel like I needed to give it a ton of gas. Oh, this is cool. It's got regenerating braking, but just using your brakes. So as I'm hitting the brakes, it's telling me on the center here that it's regenerating the hybrid battery, which is really cool. Very quiet takeoff there. It sounds like the motor just turned on. Now I'm going up like a 4% grade here. I barely have the gas pedal down, and this thing wants to take off. I'm actually very impressed by a 1.6 liter. This is, honestly, I'm impressed. It's really nice. Let's see how it handles this curve here. Oh, that takes that like a champ. There's very minimal body roll compared to the 2020 that I had. I'm on a very bumpy road here, and it's handling this really nice. I use this road pretty much anytime we go on a test drive, so I'm used to feeling the bumps in different cars, and this is handling it pretty well. It's really got that hybrid sound when it slows down. You could hear like the regenerative braking. Very similar to what you get in like a plug-in hybrid, except it's a built-in hybrid regenerating charging system. It's really nice. So we're back moving again, and I'm about to hit a good straightaway here. But I've got someone in front of us, so I'm going a little under the limit here to let them get some space because I want to try like a 30 mile per hour to 60 mile per hour acceleration, kind of like merging onto the highway, and see how that feels. Oh, that's nice. That's all the way up to 60 right there. Let me slow back down. That was 30 to 60, and however long that was very quick. I'm certainly a fan of how quick that responds. A lot of the smaller turbocharged motors, the 2 liters, the 1.5s, 1.7s, 1.6s, a lot of those really struggle with that top end power once you're already moving because of the turbo lag. I like how this uses that hybrid torque to give me that initial torque that I immediately need for that power as it charges up that turbo and pushes in. So it did a really good job of responding while I was already moving, hitting the gas, and being able to get from 30 to 60 felt really smooth, really nice. I'm going to turn here, and this part of the test drive's got a downhill section. So we're going to see how this works. So I'm heading down this road. This goes between about a 2 to a 5% grade. It definitely gets pretty steep, and it's got some really tight turns here. So right now I'm just coasting. It's doing a really good job. I noticed that it's showing the regen braking, and it's recommended I take this turn here at 20 miles per hour. But we're going to go just a little faster than that to really get a nice feel for it. So I'm going about 27, 30 miles an hour. And that was a full, almost 180-degree switchback turn going down about a 5% grade. And that feels really nice. I'm going to do it again here, but to the right. And let's see how the body roll is on that. Oh, that's nice. That's so much nicer than the 2020. They've done a really good job putting this to where it feels more connected to the ground. This wider, boxy feel for it is definitely the way to go. I feel like I'm driving a sedan with more space. It's really nice. just passed a bunch of deer right there. That's what you get here in Colorado Springs. So this is incredible. I reset the trip meter right before this test drive. Now, this vehicle's only got 30 miles on it. It's only been test driven like twice here so far. But I reset the trip meter here for just my drive. And I haven't been up to highway speeds other than that little bit that I did the 30 to 60. So I've done a really fast acceleration, gone way uphill, about 300 or 400 feet of elevation gain, and then back down again. And I'm just doing city stop and goes. And right now, over the last 2.5 miles of driving here, I'm getting 35 miles per gallon. That's nuts in a Jeep. That's not normal. My Jeep was getting like 14 in the city, and it was rated for like 18. And this is crazy. I'm I'm totally sold. I know I'm biased because I sell these, but I'm totally sold. This is nice. So I had a really narrow pass here to get in this turn lane here. And I love how it detected I was getting close to vehicles and in a narrow pass, and it turned on my 360 camera on the screen here along with my front camera. And that made that like too easy, honestly. But here we go. We're going to do an acceleration. We're hopping on the Highway 24 here, and I'm going to get up to 55 here. So I've got it fully gunned, and I'm at 55 already. That was really nice. Now I'm at 60. I got to keep it easy here, but it's very quiet at highway speeds. I'll be quiet here. Very minimal road noise. I'm not hearing very much wind or anything, and it's driving super steady and stable, and I really like this steering wheel. I can't get over this. It's a very comfortable steering wheel. I love how seamless the combination between the brake pads and the regenerative braking is. It's very, very smooth. A lot of times with electric and hybrid vehicles that have regenerative braking, as soon as you let off that gas, it's wanting to lurch you forward. This doesn't have that feel at all. It's very, very smooth all the way until you stop, and it's still regenerating and giving us some extra gas mileage there. I'm at 37 miles per gallon over the last 3 miles in the city on this. This is nuts. So right now I'm cruising on the Highway 24 here, going about 50, 55 miles per hour. And I really like all the sensors and stuff in this one. The blind spot sensors are indicating when someone's passing me on my left side, which is really nice. I've got the digital rearview mirror, which gives me a clear look of those vehicles. It's like there really is no blind spot, because when they leave this rear view mirror here, I'm seeing them in my side mirror. And when they leave my side mirror, the indicator's coming on. And then when the indicator comes off, they're on my left side. So, I mean, it's literally, I have a complete visual of where the vehicles around me are at all times. And I'm not having to take my eyes off the road to do that. And it's making this really easy. This is dangerously smooth. This vehicle is very quick, very responsive. It's it's so responsive when I'm steering. I'm taking these turns like I would when I was driving my little Acura TLX. And that was a very low to ground vehicle. This here is a off-road trail rated vehicle with a wide body, tall stance. And I feel like I'm driving a little sedan the way I'm able to take these turns and zip around town. I'm very thoroughly impressed. I've already said that, but I'm very impressed. Ooh, and I noticed right there, only because I was looking in this direction, but I noticed that it had the auto stop. But it was so seamless with the hybrid that when the motor turned off, first off, I didn't even hear it turn off. When I hit the accelerator, I was already moving, and then it turned back on. I really like that. That built-in hybrid with that auto stop, that's honestly the only way to do it. When you have the auto stop with the gas and you have to wait, even if it's that quarter of a second for the motor to turn on, I like when I'm taking turns and I'm in the middle lane trying to get across the lane of traffic. I like it to where when I hit that accelerator, my car is moving. And in this case here, it was moving before the car turned back on, which is really nice. That's thanks to the hybrid system. So I'm turning back into the dealership here at Perkins Motors, and I'm going to go ahead and park it under the awning here by reversing in. So we're going to see how easy this is with the 360 surround camera that's on it when we reverse. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it into reverse. My camera immediately came on the screen here. I've got a really wide angle surround view with nice guidelines that show me where the front of my vehicle will intercept along with the back. And I have the guidelines on the rear view as well. And I just like how easy this is to pull right into the spot. So I'm going to back it all the way in and we'll see how centered I am. Based on the camera, I should be pretty centered. I'm a little further right than I am to the left, but this was a really, really clean drive. So let's take a look outside one more time before we wrap this up. But I'm very impressed. All right, so now we're back outside the Cherokee, and I mean I'm really starting to fall in love with this vehicle. This is really, really nice. I love how it looks here under the awning. Just really clean. And as you can see here, look how centered I am in the line here. I made sure I got the back all the way to the line here. And I mean, look at that. I was able to do that just by looking at the camera, and that is very nice. Very, very smooth drive. Alrighty, folks. Once again, my name is Johnny. I'm here at Perkins Motors in Colorado Springs. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'm trying to be as honest as possible in this review, and I was trying to critique anything I found. It's it's really nice. I didn't notice anything that I didn't care for. Maybe the only thing is that it doesn't have the push to open on the gas cap, and you've got to use the physical button inside. But other than that, I mean, it drives very smooth. The gas mileage is great. It's responsive, both from a stop and accelerating when you're going already 30, 40 miles an hour. Literally every box is checked on this. Huge, huge fan. And I love for you guys to come down and check it out. If you're here local in Colorado, come and see me here at 1205 Motor City Drive in Colorado Springs. Ask for Johnny. And I do also ship nationwide. So if you're seeing this video from elsewhere and you want to come and check one out at your local dealer and get one for me, I'd love to help you out. Reach out and let me know. You can reach me at my details in the video here, or you can message me directly, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks.